So today is Tuesday, August 5th, and I thought I'd come in and videotape because there's a ton that's been done because the guys have been working toward a mortgage appraisal for today when the guy came in this afternoon. And last week, the sub-trades that were in here trying to get stuff done was just freakish. But it's quiet now and it's cleaned up now. So I thought I'd come in and take a videotape because there's a lot that's been done. And I'm working backwards actually. So I'm I'm actually standing in our master closet. But I thought I'd work backwards from what I usually do. So this is the master ensuite, and the glass shower doors aren't in because we had, really hard to point. Oh no, maybe I can point and do this thing. There we go. This quartz, which is what our countertops are, for some reason, the template guy, either he didn't measure it or he measured it and didn't give it to the guys who fabricate. We really don't know. The upshot is when they came to install, they didn't have the quartz tops for the 3 bathrooms. So they can't measure for the shower doors until the quartz is in place. So we are it's very likely we're going to move in 2 weeks today without glass shower doors anywhere. So the guest ensuite bathroom is a traditional tub shower combo. So we may be using that one if the doors aren't installed by then. But yeah, that's just how it is. So I think people have seen the tile work, of course, and there's the shower head and there's our recessed ring head. I'm so stoked about that. There's lots of things I'm really stoked about. That's one of them. And the tub, I suppose I can show you the toilet. That's always very exciting. But actually, we're pretty excited about where the toilet is situated because you can see there's a little wall there. And unless somebody's soaking at the same time that somebody needs to use the loo, you get some privacy when you're on the loo now. You kind of had that in the house before. In our rental, when you're on the loo, the shower stall is right across from you. So when somebody, so you can't go to the loo or take a shower without somebody else being there if they need to be in there too. It's really it's a little bit uncomfortable. Not the most pleasant thing. So there's our dual vanities. The big thing to finish off right now in terms of finishings, the next big things are mirrors, and there's a few light fixtures that we haven't got yet. And there's the upper cabinets there. So the mirrors need to get done because it'd be useful to have mirrors when we move in. So those need to come yet. And these niches here, there's nothing up in this space. But down in here, there's the shelf and there's the outlet, so we plug in razors, electric toothbrushes, that kind of thing. That's pretty neat. And then in this drawer, so this has to be my side, is compartments for hair appliances. Not that I have time to really do my hair, but at least my appliances have a resting place instead of all in a tangle in a basket, which is where they sit right now. So a walk-in closet. I don't know if people, I can't recall when the last video was that I posted and what had happened, but the hardwood in our master ensuite or master bedroom is different from the rest of the house. It's the only place it's different, and so it's kind of a gray driftwood color, which you'll probably see better in the bedroom itself. But so this is the storage system that we have for our walk-in closet. Those are shoe shelves. It's maybe kind of hard to see, but that's the case. They're slanted a little bit. Still don't know if you can tell that they're slanted, but they are. So that's where shoes will go. And where these brackets are, the drawers didn't arrive in time. for when the guy was installing. So he was a little bit miffed at that, but what can you do? So there's 5 drawers on either side of the shoes. And then over here is what you would expect: hanging, storage, shelf, storage, ironing, little mini ironing board, and then hampers that just pull out like this. And for those who know me, and I think there's only a few people who have ever really seen my linen, not my linen, but my dirty clothes organization. I don't even know if I should commit this to video, but probably, because I get teased enough about it from those who do, is I actually do need 4 bins, because there's black, whites, blue, green, yellow, and then pink, red, orange. And the kids, for those who've been keeping track, they have 4 hampers too. And then that means if one of my bins are full or one of the kids' bins are full, then I can just take the other corresponding color bin and do a load of blacks, a load of whites, and I don't have to sort it. Yes, there's all that kind of anal stuff that I've put into the house, because that's just how I roll. So, oh, there we go. So this is the light fixture Cheryl and I found. I can't tell, and I don't want to lift it up. The electrician today, when we were fixing or sorting out what the height would be, because it's going to come from this fixture here, he dropped it about 1.5 feet and then caught it by the cord. We nearly died, because they're the last 3 fixtures in Kelowna. So you can see that it's kind of a pearly white and gray, and there's 3 of them that will hang along the ceiling here. There's spots for 3 of them. I don't know if you can tell. So 1, 2, 3. That's not in focus at any rate. And they'll hang just about there above the window, so you'll still get that really nice view down the long hallway. And on this side will be a mirror. And Cheryl's design, and Jeff is still pushing for a bench here. I'm opposed. I know it's going to end up being cluttered with clothes. I just know it. Unless I design it with pillows and crap. But even then, he'll throw pillows on top of that. Or clothes on top of the pillows. So I'm opposed to it, but I think I'm going to get overruled. And there will be a barn sliding door here. And Juby's going to build that for us out of the tree that came down. So that definitely will not be in place until probably October, because Juby's working on getting his wood shop created. Not that he didn't have one, but I think he's rebuilding. And then he'll need time to actually craft it, but it's not a priority. There's a door here. Oops, you have to see that. So that stays in, and then you push it, and then you can pull it out. And Jeff really, really wanted this door here because of his trips to Vancouver, which they were frequent, but they're going to become even more frequent. And he often gets up at 4:30 in the morning to catch a 6 o'clock flight, and he was really conscious of noise and light for me that early, because I usually wake up when he does. I'm not sure that that door is going to make a difference, but it was awfully thoughtful of him to push to have the door. And it's not a bad idea. Some people like that feature, so it's there. These are the built-ins from our millwork guy, Rob, and they are absolutely beautiful. And this is a bit of a false thing. So this is actually a single drawer, this guy here. The rest of them are just a big psych. So you open, it's 2 at a time, and then it's a deeper drawer. I'm going to give detail like that in this video because some people will care about it and some people will be like, oh my God, move on. So you can just fast forward on the crap that you don't really care about. And that's all good. So there's the fireplace and the built-ins around that. And then this is not correct. That is the right fan. those are not the correct blades. So the blade should be, color should be the same as, there we go. Because it focuses on my finger. The blade color should be stainless steel. Okay, I'll stop pointing. The same as the round hidey hole up there. So we've got the fan, because this does tend to be a very warm room. And that's not, well, yeah, we don't know if it'll change or not with all the new HVAC and what have you, but anyway. So it's kind of a nautical-ish type of ceiling fan and not your traditional or expected kind of fan. So we're pretty happy about that choice. So that's the master. And this is coming over into the guest bedroom. So something to point out just while we're here. So all the knobs for all the doors look like this. And that is actually a hybrid that we put together because we wanted a handle that as we got older or as we had younger children visitors or older visitors, they'd be able to push the handle down either with a full hand or partial, but it would just be easy to maneuver. But the back plate of this particular handle and handles similar to it, we didn't like. So we had, well, it's not custom, but we just said we want, you know, this particular style of back plate with that particular handle. So it's not custom per se, other than having them put two different things that they weren't showing together. I don't know if that makes sense. If anybody's had to choose door handles, you know what I'm trying to talk about. It's late and I'm tired, which is probably not a good time to be doing this, but I am. So this is the storage for the guest bedroom. Again, the drawers are missing. That's okay, they'll come. This is the guest ensuite, which needs a redo because the tile back here, it's the wrong tile and it's installed the orientation incorrectly. So the tile should be horizontal and the tile that should be back there should be that tile. Because when you look at this vanity and you see the green knobs, you're like, whoa, that's some pretty green knobs you got going on there. But when you see the proper tile behind it, which Cheryl and I held up today, just to see, do we really need to go and do that? We really do. So our tile guy's got to come back and fix that. Because the green knobs are like, oh, what the heck are you doing? So anywhere you see the wood countertops like this, they have been made by our millwork guy, and they are made out of 2x4s from the demolition of the home. And the wood has come out just beautifully. So we have 4 places where we'll have the wood countertops that came from the 2x4s, which is very cool. So this is the bathroom that we'll all be using if the glass shower doors aren't in. So of course I've got shower curtains from the house from before and what we're using in the rental, and we'll throw that up and that'll do. It'll work for the short term if the doors aren't in. So now is walking to the linen closet. So this is my new linen closet with all the organization shelving installed up and around. And so the majority of these shelves are adjustable. You can see the little holes. So I'm pretty excited. I have no flipping clue what all I have to store in here anymore because we've pared down so considerably. But I'm so grateful to have as much storage as I do. It'll be fantastic. And then I think it'll be along this wall that I'll have some kind of hook system for hanging up bags, because if your house is like my house, you're getting reusable bags all the time and they can get unwieldy. It'll be a good place to put that in there. Of course, is another pocket door here. And so most of the time I would suspect that this door would be closed. I'll just back up. It would just look like a regular door, obviously. So, head down toward the gym and the bedrooms. So now you can see when you hang over the railing, you can see all the way down. So this flooring in the sunroom literally just got laid today. That didn't sound good, but you know what I mean. It just got put in today. They just finished it. So I won't be walking on that to show you anything in there because I should stay off of it because the glue is probably still wet. So, and the chimney is still covered because the paint guys are not finished by a long shot. So that needs to stay covered. This is Jeff's gym. Woohoo! So door to the porch. Oh, I was gonna use my left. I can get out. So we have stamped concrete down here. And we've got it looking as though it's like hardwood. So it's just a site. But it works. It's better than just throwing down regular concrete, and it doesn't cost any more to get it fashioned that way. And this is the railing. That is a huge compromise. Basically, what it comes down to is we couldn't have any horizontal or vertical bars at all. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that on the video. That's odd. So this is the compromise, and there it is. I'm just going to pause for a second and see what's going on. Okay, so that was really weird with that purple stuff starting. So I just stopped and now I'm restarting again. So Jeff's treadmill will probably go in that, well, not probably, it will go in that space. And I don't know where else this stuff will go, but it'll fit. So that's the railing in here, the interior railing, which again is another compromise. It's not entirely what we would choose. It's traditional, it fits, it totally fits with the style of the house 100%, and it is great craftsmanship. The spindle design is not what we would have originally chosen, but given the limitations that we were working in, it'll do, it's fine. And it's lovely to have this little inset detail and the caps on it the way that it is. So yeah, we just won't tell people what we were hoping to have, and then you'll never know the difference. So here we are walking into John's room, and not much has changed really, other than it's been cleaned up, and his wardrobes are getting put in place. So that's the IKEA wardrobe box that we purchased. That's his existing dresser, and then our finishing guys are tying it all in together. And that will be his closet. His hidey hole is there, ready to go. And his room, like many of the rooms, are not painted at all. That will come next week. Heading into the kids' washroom. Woo, look at the pretty lights. Those literally got installed today, and they're pretty. They're pretty. They're also very bright, and they're very cool. We think anyway. So there's their faucets. We went a little bit more modern in the kids' bathroom here, just to make it a little bit different for them. And their sinks, I don't know how well you can tell, but they kind of slope down like this. So for kids that do not rinse their sinks very well, that may help with that issue. Or not. Oh, and this wall is going to pick up one of the colors in the tile over here on this wall. The darker one. Well, no, I shouldn't say the darker one, this guy here. We're going to put that color on this back wall here. We think it'll be okay. And by we, I mean Cheryl and I. So this is their toilet room. Obviously, very simple. It's a toilet. It's a sink to wash their hands, and that's it. So the kids will use it. They, of course, have their pocket door here internally and the pocket door externally, so they can use different parts of their bathroom at the same time. And so their shower room is here, so that same tile in the niches, and then actually a different tile on the base, because, and that's even different tile than what we were originally planning, but we had to choose a tile that was non-slip, and the original tile that we chose for down here that matched slightly better with that was very slippery. But actually when you kind of, and it doesn't do it justice on the video, they look, on the video I can see that these two tiles look like really, really different, like they don't fit, but in real life they do fit. So, kids shower. And then they have some built-in niches there. And that of course is their storage. And then there are 4 hampers down below. Some of the knobs aren't installed yet. It's kind of annoying. We're not sure why. I'm just opening this so you can see the knobs. So they have a bit of a fish theme going on with their knobs. So these little guys here, oops, they're upside down. Oops, they're upside right. So these are left-handed knobs. That's going to go there. And then corresponding right-hand knob there. They get little fishes on these drawers, and then on their vanities, and they can switch them out if they're unhappy, but Emma's got conches on hers, and John has 2 Nautiluses there and on the other side over there. I don't think either of them have clued in as to who got what, and they can change it, unscrew it and mess around, and it's all good. I'm trying to turn the light off. We have no idea how any of this works. Oh, John had. Did that work? Huh. No. I think I'm gonna have to go back to John's side. Oh, what about here? That probably didn't feel good. Did that work? Oh, that turned off the shower. Oh, that was a fan. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, what about that? There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so Miss Emma's room. And not much has changed for her, other than she's totally cleaned up. Okay, so now her outside drawer faces have been installed, which is great, and that all needs to be painted out white. And there's Emma's built-in, which is identical to what we've done for the suite, and these are all IKEA pieces. Her knobs will switch. We're not using those knobs, and similar knobs will go on the drawers behind me. But we have all the gear for the insides for the organization of them, and that'll happen. Oh, I don't know when. Maybe it won't actually happen until we have finally moved in. I have no clue. That is such a minor thing at this point, it doesn't matter. Now, there's shelving there. I don't think there's supposed to be shelving there. I think this is supposed to be a mirror on top. See, these are the details that are killing me. So I've been here for 3 hours this afternoon because I showed up to the office to send a fax, literally, and grab some files electronically. And then I thought, well, I was waiting for Jeff, oh, I'll just pop into the house, see where things are at, blah, blah, blah. Then I got asked a bunch of questions. Then I fired a text off to Cheryl, and then she said, I'll be there in half an hour. And she was, and thankfully I grabbed lunch, because then I was here for another 3 hours, just walking through details. And it doesn't even matter, but there's small things that if you don't catch them when they're happening like this, then we'll end up with shelves there, when I think our design was to have it built out with a mirror. So add that to the list of things to follow up on. And it's not necessarily that I have to follow up on it, but when I notice it, I have to let Cheryl or Juby know so that they can. Because you can't have the trades, the sub-trades being bothered by too many different people. It has to be the same person. but it means I have to note it, then I have to go home and compile an email. It's just very, very time consuming and very much attention to detail, because the trees, clearly they make mistakes or they just get it wrong, and it's not for any malintent, it's just what happens. So anyway, I think that's wrong. So the yoga room, again, nothing's changed here yet. The paint color's not on, but it's cleaned up. We're still working on light fixtures for in here, and I'm not too worried about it because I've got this beautiful skylight in the windows there, and right now we're not into winter yet, so it's not a big deal if it doesn't happen until the fall. So this is the top that we've put on this little platform thing, and that again is 2x4s from the demolition. And then over to the media TV room, and none of the knobs and handles that got put on in here, and none of us really know why that's the case. So none of it's on. Well, that's okay, we guess. Okay, in terms of clearly there must be a plan, and I think both Cheryl and Juby are going to follow up and find out when that's intending to be completed. So this is the dishwasher that it was the buy two get one free type thing, because we bought 2 Thermador appliances downstairs. So this is actually a high-end Thermador dishwasher that people thought we'd be putting downstairs, but when I did my research, I found out that the decibel level of a Thermador dishwasher is not comparable to the Kenmore Elite line. The Kenmore Elite line is about 4 decibels quieter, and because I know a Kenmore Elite because it's what we have, I didn't want to have to mess around with an unknown appliance in my kitchen, because right now we've got a shitty mag tag in the rental, and it is so loud. It is so loud. And I know that the Thermador wouldn't be anywhere near that loud, but I didn't want to take the chance. So the Thermador's thrown up here. This is Jeff's faucet that he found. And you will get hot water. It's just by gradient. So as you turn it to the left, as you turn it to the right, well, that's going to be weird. Ha! Okay, so as you turn it to the right, it'll get hotter. There we go. Our plumbing works. So, I'm going to have to get used to that. I don't know why it turns to the right. Should I make a note? That's what I constantly ask myself. Should I make a note of that? Does somebody realize that it's not a righty-tighty? It's a righty-loosey and a lefty-tighty? Oh, okay. I think, I'm pretty sure people have seen that, where the TV's going to go and the cabinetry and all that. And the kids, I was going to call them playstations, creative stations. So we had family this weekend, and with very, very limited space, John still was on the floor taking up what floor space there was, crafting planes. So now he'll have a space where he can do it and leave it out, and I will not be annoyed that he's got crap hanging out. And the same thing with him, and I shouldn't call it crap, it's very creative, it's fantastic. But when you have to walk over it, it's not quite so fantastic. So this will be their space. I can see in time that there may be a line down the middle, or not, I'm not sure, but it could happen. So that they know who has which side. So I'll head downstairs, obviously. It's so quiet in here, it's so bizarre when I'm in here and it's all quiet. I try to turn the light out. Nope, didn't work. Never mind. Alright. Just coming down to the front of the house. So in here is where our dining room table will go, and we're going to have Juby build that out of the big maple out the front here that we took down. But and then the barn sliding door here as well. But all of that will come, my guess is most likely after Thanksgiving, if not Christmas-ish, because it just takes time. And he'll be doing it in his off hours from his regular day job, so it'll just take time. So there's the fireplace. And like I said, I'm not going to walk in the sunroom. And I'll see if I can turn these lights off. I can't. I don't know. It's going to be crazy trying to figure this house out. Into the front entranceway. So now, I don't know if the herringbone pattern was ever really seen because it was often covered up. And there's the front door. Door handle's not installed. And the closets. Oh, I can open the closet so you can, for those who care about such things, you can see the organization system that we got put in. So this right-hand side is what we presumably will be for overflow for us maybe, and definitely for guests when they come over. And so it's mostly hanging on that side, and the left side would be private. So there's some lower hanging for short coats and what have you, but it's more shelving for not off season, for in season stuff. Helmets. Jeff talks about rollerblades, but man, I don't think he wants to put rollerblades on that and mark it all up. But at any rate, we'll organize it in some fashion, but that will be all in-season storage, plaything type of thing on the left-hand side. Of course, there's room down below for, I was going to say for shoes, for footwear. We'll figure that all out as time goes on and we live here for a while. So these doors are big fakers. There is something behind them, I know what you think. It's the electrical panel is all that's in here. That's all that is. It's not anything fancy or special. So there is some floor space in here. It goes back a fair bit. There's some guts hanging out. So I don't know if what we'll store in here, if anything at all. I don't know. I really don't know. Powder room. So Cheryl found I don't know how old it is. It's an ice box, so it's got to be fairly old. An ice box, and Rob is in the process of refinishing it. Speaking of which, I was supposed to clean the hardware, and I haven't got that from Judy, so I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to make another mental note. What happened to the hardware that I was supposed to clean? So we put paneling here in the bathroom, and the paneling will come around this side here. But they needed to know the ice box, or what the vanity was going to be in here and all that good stuff. So that'll come soon. I hope soon. Kitchen. Hurrah! Yay! Kind of. So I'll back up a little bit. So those are these fixtures just got installed today. Fair bit of discussion about how low / high they should be. So, I mean, it's detail stuff like that. So where the electrician was proposing it was fine for me, but I said, okay, 6-foot guy, how's that going to work? And it wasn't going to work because it was hanging right at eye level for somebody who's 6 feet. And I've got a brother and a dad who was about 6 feet-ish, and that wouldn't work for them. But those kind of detail stuff that you chat for 5 to 8 minutes, and all of that just takes time. So a major screw up is our tile work guy put these small tiles belong in the suite, and what's in the suite belongs in here. So now my island, which is this green color, it works, and it's hard to see because the video doesn't do it justice. It works, but it's not what was intended. So we've left it in place because the mortgage appraisal guy was coming today. And Cheryl and I were here going through the 3 areas affected by the tile mix-up. And of course, I mean, that just takes time going through, working it through and what the options would be. And for in here, I think what we'll do, or where it was left at in you have to look at the cost effectiveness of stuff. I mean, I could be the demanding client saying, take the tile off and put in what I want so that the screen flows better. But then you're looking at, when they take it off, they could wreck the drywall. And behind here, this wall is vapor barriers because it's an external wall, so that could be damaged. So you got drywallers, mudders, and painters that may all have to come back in before the proper tile is put in. So it would seem that the most cost-effective solution is to just repaint the island. And our millwork guy was actually here the day after I noted that there was a problem. So Julie's going to follow up with him about what would the cost really be. He quoted me a figure which seemed reasonable, but now we need to know if that is really what it would be, because we don't want to pick up the cost. It's not our mistake. And the specs were clear and they were correct. So the tile guy, Henrik, he's the one that made the mistake, so they have to be, it doesn't have to be corrected, but as everyone keeps saying, if I keep walking into this kitchen once we're living here going, dang, that's no good either. And I will. So I think we'll repaint it, and I think we'll repaint it the same blue that's in the suite, because the blue in the suite was to match this tile there. So we know that it'll look good, and it'll look good. It'll be correct. So the appliances were installed today, mostly everywhere. I can see the fridges aren't in, and good Lord, that makes sense because they're big awful beasts. So the double oven is in, and our cooktop is in. And I don't know, I could pull out a whole schwack of drawers and show you all the neat, nifty organization stuff, but we'll just save that for when people actually come to visit. So that's a veggie sink. Those are the fridge drawers. That's the drawer microwave that Jeff is not sold on. So you either change the design so that you get a microwave that sits up higher, which means changing a hell of a lot, or you just leave the design as it is. So he's willing to work with it. You could put a traditional microwave in there if you wanted to, not one that's a shelf or a drawer microwave. So when this one craps out or whatever, if we ever replaced it, we could get a traditional one. So there we go. So you open it and there you go. I mean, one of the things Jeff was concerned about was that this wouldn't be deep enough for the microwaving that one would want to do. And then I kind of challenged him with, well, what the heck do you think we microwave? And really it's my chai tea lattes get microwaved in there, and frozen vegetables for dinners. I can't think of anything else we use our microwave for. I don't even defrost meat in it. So there you go. I think it'll be fine. But what Jeff cares about is that you can use a handle to open it, and Jeff doesn't want the handle to be used. So we have to train everybody to use the open and close button. And I think he's adverse to the handle. Well, and they had a newer version that was more streamlined than this. It was very cool, but it didn't fit the dimensions of this because the newer model wasn't out when our whole kitchen was being designed. This is the problem with something taking so long. At any rate, the new version, the new model wouldn't fit into the space without some retrofitting. So we have to go with the older model, which Jeff doesn't like as well in terms of design, and because it has this handle. Suck it up, Buttercup. But there is, I get it. There's a lot that we've had to suck up with some things that you'd prefer not to, but you know what? It's a pretty amazing house. So those things in the grand scheme of life are very minor. So the laundry room, I don't really think too much has truly changed in here for much. Yeah, the door's been installed. That's the wet zone powder room is in here. We have a bit of an issue, and I always wondered this, but again, it was one of those things I didn't question because, well, I just didn't. So there's the light, and that is the only light that comes on. For some reason, there's no recessed pots, and I noted it way back, but I think somehow I got the message that with this being a total wet zone, that we couldn't have that, which seems odd because there are shower stalls that have lights. So at any rate, our electrician guy, he was kind of noting it because he was going to install a light fixture on this bare bulb, which I can't show you because it doesn't show up well. When he showed us the fixture that we chose, it's actually going to reduce more of the light in here, and not that there's a ton to begin with. So he was suggesting that there is, you get fans that have lights built into them, specifically for this kind of application. So we'll see if that's an option. Yeah, so there's the shower head installed. So everything in here can be totally wet, including, this is Caesar stone that we've put in here. So that can get totally wet. We're hoping that there's not going to be a whole lot of wet zone coming on this side of it. But it can get wet if it absolutely has to, or if it does, it's not a big problem. And then back along this wall is where we'll have some shelving so that wet bathing suits, wet towels, laundry that is delicate that I'm hanging to dry, all that good stuff will go there. So that's this space. I think it's the first time you can actually see it with a little bit of light. So these faucets are a riot. We can turn them on because they get turned on with a wave. Yeah, sure, or by a touch. And we get so confused because how the heck do you turn, like without, we get confused because how do you turn it off? And we keep doing this kind of thing, but if you just touch it anywhere, it turns off. Oops. Sure it does. Anyway, you can see how much fun we're gonna have when we move in with all these gadgets we have. And when our guests come, it'll be pretty funny because they won't know how to work our house either. And we'll just laugh because they'll be where we are now, not knowing how to work it at all. So the music study room, all the paneling is now in, and I think at least a first coat for sure is on, all the wood paneling. And there's 2 out of 3 desks. They're all the same. It's just the Leotorp from IKEA that matches our bookcases. And so we have 3 at home, and we bought 2 more. And we need to get the, we need to purchase the doors for them. They didn't have them in stock. IKEA, why wouldn't they? But they didn't. So this room is a moving target in terms of how it's going to be laid out. But it'll get done. And it's one of those rooms that may not get truly finalized until close to Christmas, but as long as I have a desk and I can work, that's what matters in the short term. Now we're walking into the suite, obviously, and Mom and Dad's chandelier got installed today, so this is where their dining room table will go in this zone here, in their living room. And this is their kitchen. So their appliances are getting installed. There's their pendant lights for their island. I'm not sure why their stove oven hasn't been pushed back. I don't know what's going on there. Doesn't matter. It'll get done. They have a pot filler too, just like we do. And they have all kind of neat storage and organization in their drawers that I won't bore people with either. And there's their dishwashers. So they got the new Kenmore Elite upgraded fancy schmancy one. We took our previous one that we had before, and because it's fine, we gave them the new one because it doesn't matter. Their fridge is identical to what ours is, and obviously the guys kind of went, yeah, that's for another day. I don't blame them. They're big ones. So that's their front closet, and they have it. We put organization stuff all in theirs too. So they've got long storage, or hanging and short hanging, and shelving as well. So it's so awesome to be able to put storage, organizing stuff in right at the front end, because then you can start right from the very beginning figuring out how you want to organize things rather than just kind of throwing things in. Well, okay, that'll happen. I'm just going to throw things in. until you kind of figure out how you're going to live. But to have the organization kind of already, the template there, I guess is what I'm saying, is pretty good. Not pretty good, it's great. It's great to know that that's there, and then you just have to figure out how you want to use it. So Mom and Dad, they have a dining room table and chairs that they'll bring up. It's likely not what they're going to keep because none of us are really sure how well it's going to flow with everything else in here. And Mom would like a china cabinet, or at least a sideboard of some kind along here. And, but we don't know what that is. We don't know what that will be yet. And rather than rushing some of those decisions just for move-in, and knowing that we need to get mirrors and light fixtures first, so that will come. We'll figure that out. What's more important that has not been figured out is Mom and Dad's desk area here. It's been really challenging, and I have yet to find some kind of desk configuration that fits the space, because it's more narrow, and Mom's she wants to be able to have hanging, or have file drawers, because she still has papers that she's not totally paperless. So when you have to factor that in, that reduces the amount of desk width that you can have. And of course she wants storage up top and all that good stuff. And I have yet to find something that I think suits the space and everything else that's going on in here. But that'll be a challenge to find something in time for when they move up. Worst case scenario, if they work off a card table. But for some things, it's not worthwhile rushing through a decision just to get something, because some of the stuff is not cheap, and you know, you buy it just to make do, and you don't really like it, but you spent so much money, so you don't, you know, look for what you really want. So we'll figure it out. So this is another IKEA unit. It's just one of those packed wardrobes, and our finishing guys are finishing them and putting the molding on, the crown molding, so that when it's all done and painted, it looks built in, more or less. So that's the plan, and hopefully that is how it works. So I think Mom and Dad's bathroom completed like this, I think, has been shown on video. I'm not sure. Maybe the plumbing wasn't installed when I've shown this in the past, probably not. And so obviously their glass shower doors aren't installed either. And you can see the notch here where it's gonna go, and it's crazy. So their floor does actually slope down toward this linear drain. And the crazy thing, it's just nuts. So a sloped floor, no big deal, it's just the way you lay the concrete. But this linear drain and all of that craziness, like, I forget what it was. I think $600 easy is what comes to mind to do something like that, and it's just crazy. But the reason why we've done it is, you can see there's absolutely no lip between shower area and non-shower area, and that is because this room's been designed that if one of them need a walker or in a wheelchair, that they'll be able to wheel right in, straight from, you know, the door here, all the way in and into the shower. So they could be in the shower in their wheelchair, or they could wheel to the shower and then make their way to sit on the bench here, should they get to that stage of limiting capacity while they're still here. So it's been designed to hopefully grow old with them. And then there's their vanity in behind. Not in behind, but opposite. And why there is no knob there, I do not know. No. So the lighting underneath there, that comes on anytime somebody walks in. That's some of the lighting features that we have going on. And then their bedroom, which I think the only big change is that they're, would finish. Okay, so see that part there? That's where a mirror is gonna go. And so that's how Emma's is supposed to be upstairs, I'm pretty sure. So I need to check in with Cheryl or at least make that note as soon as I'm done, because so that's just a narrow shelf. Let's see, it's not, yeah, so it's quite narrow. It's maybe a foot, maybe 15 inches, and then we're going to find a mirror that goes in there and call it done. Mom she was angling for shelves there because you could do that, but with their bedroom being, I mean, it's not small by any stretch, but let's say it's not as big as ours. The mirror will do a lot for reflecting light, and I think she was thinking it's no big deal because the mirror is taller than she is. But I don't know. Cheryl and I are convinced the mirror is the way to go in here, and she'll love it when it's all done. Those knobs will all be switched out. Those are not going to stay there. I mean, that's what came with the IKEA stuff, but that's not what we're going to use. So that's the interior of the house. How long did that take me? About 45 minutes? Something like that. So I'm not going to do the exterior today. I'm tired. I need to go home and have some dinner. So I'm going to go off and do that. And I'll likely not be back to do the interior until, well, probably not until after we move, would be my guess. Maybe I'll be able to, I don't know. Anyway, that's why I came in today, because I'm not sure, I'm not going to get back again this week. And then next week I need to be packing, doing our final pack. And then we move. At least that's, well, like I say, that's the plan. Well, that's when the movers are coming, is on the 18th. So we'll be moving, which is exciting. So until next time.